Hanging in there?
I'm good. I'm sorry. I just as you said, I'm going to get started. I muted. How are you today?
No worries. All right. So, all right, to 10 rules of marketing. So did we establish who makes the most money? Do we need to talk about that anymore? Um, I'm sure we all know, right? So, it's not the best doctor out there or lawyer, attorney in the world that makes the most money, right? It's the best marketer. So from this day forward, if I were you, I would start thinking about you are no longer just a realtor. Real estate is just part of your deliverable. You are in the marketing and innovation business. Okay. Um, so that's what you need to focus the majority of your time on, not becoming a better realtor. You can do that, right? But I would argue that, if you made $150,000 this year and you said, man, next year I want to make $250,000, what do I need to do? Well, I need to join coaching. I need to learn how to do an open house better, right? So I can convert a few more leads. That's marginal thinking, right? That you might be able to incrementally increase your business, incrementally increase your income by a few $1,000. But if you want to exponentially increase your business, become a better marketer and learn how to leverage that. That makes sense? Sound good? All right. So yeah, so if you go out and you learn how to do an open house a little bit better, that you might get one or two more customers. That's not going to increase it that much. Okay. So number one, the very first rule, there always has to be an offer every single time. You send out a postcard, you put a landing page out there, anything that you do, there has to be an offer. There's got to be a reason for them to respond now. It needs to be a strong offer. Call me or text me and I will service all of your real estate needs. That is not an offer. That's crap. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I might talk a little tougher than I normally talk in this meeting, only because it's something that I feel that I am very, very passionate about, and it drives me crazy seeing realtors waste so much money out there on marketing. It's junk. How many of you get 10 phone calls a day from some company trying to sell you something? Real estate agent lists are one of the most popular lists to list brokers. There are so many shiny pennies out there, and real estate agents are generally thought of to have pretty deep pockets. So that's why everybody in the world is marketing to us. So this is my goal here, is to get us to stop spending money on crap. And we'll get all these slides to you at the end of this presentation if you guys want them. Ted will send them out. But what I would recommend is that you take this list and you every time you see something that some kind of marketing system or service, test it against this list and see if it passes the majority of these 10 rules. Then you got a winner. All right. So there always has to be an offer or offers. So you find a lot of realtors out there that have implied offers on their branded postcards that go out there. There's no real offer, right? Yesterday, I was thinking about this, preparing for this course, and I went on to GoDaddy and I bought SantaFeOpenHouse.net URL. So I think we might use a little bit of open houses as an example for something to do and for offers. So call or text me is not an offer, but text open to 505-555-1212 and I will text you every time there's a new open house coming up this weekend. I will text you the address. That's an offer. What you want to become is an information broker, not just a real estate broker. You want to be someone that they think of when they need information that they can't get somewhere else. You're the only one that can give them this information. That's an offer, and that's a reason for them to respond and opt in to what you have. If they're truly interested in what you have, and that's, you don't want people that really aren't truly interested. So not everyone is going to respond. That makes sense. There's always going to be an offer, some sort of an offer, and call or text me. I will service all your real estate needs. That's crap. That's terrible. Don't do it. Stop. So this is how you make money, people, and this is how you get response, okay? Number two, there will always be a reason to respond right now. Let's see. So what you want is you want to, I heard this somewhere on my marketing classes. You want to consider that, think about your customer as being a giant sloth laying on their couch watching TV. What is it going to take to get that big sloth up and go over and get on the internet and opt into your offer? It needs to be strong. It needs to be a very compelling reason to get them up and get them excited. And to do it right now, not put it off until some later point in time. All right. A mediocre offer is not going to get them up. All right. Number three, there will be very clear instructions. Okay. And under this one, I've got two subheadings, right? Confused customers do nothing. If they don't understand your offer and it's not explicitly spelled out, go to www.santafeopenhouse.net and put in your name, put in your phone number, put in your email. You have to spell it out very, very specifically. Most people can follow directions, but they have to have directions. If it is unclear, they will do nothing. They freeze up. So make sure you have a very clear pathway and with high sidewalls. I mean, so if you're doing a landing page, like what I'm suggesting, make sure that it is a single page landing page, no other extra pages, no other sidebar links, nothing to distract them. You want them to do what they came there to do, period. So that is very clear instructions. Hopefully we spent enough on that. All right, number four, there will always be tracking and measurement. This goes right along with Gary Keller, right? Lead with revenue. You spend $1 on something, you track it, you send it out, and you know exactly what that dollar was spent on. You can create a simple Google spreadsheet, but Command will also do this for you inside of campaigns. But create a simple Google Doc spreadsheet, track everything. You spend $55 on 100 stamps, you put that in for that campaign, you send it out, and only things that get results count and matter. Always be tracking measurement, just like what Gary says in the MREA. Lead with revenue. Give yourself a predetermined amount of time for this campaign, and if it doesn't work by that amount of time, cancel it or change it up, but move on. Believe me, guys, I have done this. I have spent about $3,000 a month marketing to 2,200 homes for 12 months straight and got nothing, not one single phone call. That hurts. But you hear coaches out there will tell you, keep going, you're right at the finish line, keep going, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But then when I learned all this stuff, my marketing was crap. It was just, it was a 5-year-old glamour shot photo that just has, it's high gloss both sides. It's got pictures on there. I'm number one. We sell more real estate than anybody else. Here's some statistics and market data, but there was no call to action, no reason for them to respond. All right, so the tracking and measuring. So I go back to, you got to be careful, because once you start having success, when you follow these things, it's like the crabs in a bucket. Everyone's going to start trying to pull you back down, right? It doesn't matter what your colleagues or your wife, your spouse, your boyfriend, significant other, doesn't matter what any of them think. The only thing that matters is what draws results. Okay, and we're going to get into a couple more down here that'll make a little bit more sense. All right, so number 5, branding as a byproduct only, something that I learned the hard way, right? And especially pay attention here if you are trying to market into a neighborhood that already has a dominant agent in there, for example. There you are probably doing the branded marketing, and that's all they do. There's probably no strong offer, but I'll tell you right now, they've probably been doing that for 20 years, and they've gained traction. They've got branding going. There's a lot of people, and the majority of the big agents I know market heavily farm neighborhoods. But the thing is that does not work nowadays, the branded farming. There's other ways to do it. Very, very strong, good ways. And I've spoken with several of you about that. And if you want to know more about that, schedule an appointment with me and we'll sit down and talk. But sending out the branded glossy postcards every month, that will not do anything for you. Branding is going to happen as a byproduct of your direct response marketing. You will get them to opt into your offer. Now they're going to start seeing your branding, and that's how you dominate and take over a market. Whole other class on that subject. Okay, let's move along. So one more thing about branding, right? So we are not companies like Coca-Cola, Budweiser, those guys are playing with fake, phony money. We are not. We are entrepreneurs. We have to make bills this month, right now. We need someone to respond quickly to opt into our offer. Those companies like that, they are playing with New York money, Wall Street money. It's fake. There's an unlimited supply of that for those guys. And the only thing that they are trying to do is move their stock prices by 1/4 of a point, in the next quarter. When we have to make payroll right now, we've got to pay bills next month. It's a different ball game, and don't play that game. We won't win. Our pockets aren't deep enough. I guarantee it. Okay. All right. Number 6, there will be follow-up. You've heard that the fortune is in the follow-up, right? We've heard that a million times. Command campaigns, follow-ups, smart plans. This is how you follow up. You have to call, text, email. If you're not getting a response from a phone call, then change your approach. There's a great Tony Robbins video. It's like 5 minutes long. It's a story of Rocky. Anybody ever seen that or listened to that? You can Google it on YouTube. It's really just Tony talking, and it has like a picture of Rocky on there. But Tony and Sylvester Stallone are very, very good friends, and he tells the whole story about Sylvester Stallone, how he wanted to be an actor, and he kept going out and trying out, and he kept getting turned down because he looked stupid and he talked stupid. Nobody was want to put him as an actor, so he kept changing his approach. His whole dream was to be a big actor. So he became a writer, and so he wrote Rocky, and that's how he got the movie picked up. He said the only way I would do the movie is if I was Rocky, and they wanted to put somebody else in as Rocky. Did you imagine that? Anyway, so it's a very interesting story. I highly recommend listening to that. It's like 8 minutes long. It's very cool. So my point to that, and the point that I always took from listening to that, was change your approach. If something is not working, change your approach. Could be call if you're not getting a response, text, email, go knock on the door, whatever it takes to get them to follow through. Okay, number 7, there will be strong copy, meaning what you put in the ads, your postcards, your website is going to be strong. You can't be timid and weak. Yeah, I've heard, we're a little bit of an older crowd, so I've heard this. You can't send a timid Casper milk toast guy out to knock on the door, to send out to do your advertising for you. You got to send freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? You have to have strong copy. strong words, someone with a lot of confidence and speaks, articulates, and enunciates well. Feeling timid, weak, shy copy on your advertisements is not going to get the response. All right. There's also an acronym, AIDA, that is big in marketing. Stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. That is something good to follow anytime you're creating an email, a postcard, landing page, website, anything. AIDA, attention, interest, desire, and action. You want to get their attention with the copy you write in the headline, that it's going to get their attention right off the bat. It's something that speaks directly to them. Then you're going to get their interest by telling a little quick story or something like that that's compelling. Then you're going to create desire, and finally the action and the call to action. So always follow those. Okay, number 8. In general, it's going to look like mail order advertising. I get some funny looks right now. Mail order advertising is ugly, right? But it's been going on for over a century, and it works. I've talked with several of you about this already, but it's the cat and the whiskers. Mail order advertising, the typeface and everything used is very low on the whiskers. What I mean by whiskers and the cat and the mouse, when people think about advertising and they think about realtors offers out there, they don't want to opt in because they know that we're going to put them on the 10 days of pain program. We're going to call, that we're going to hound the crap out of them until they buy or die, right? So that's why they don't want to opt in. If your advertising smells of real estate agent, they're going to say they're not going to want to do it. But if you put just the bare minimum, put your name, the brokerage, and the address, very small typeface down at the bottom of your ad, where it doesn't sniff of real estate agent, or they won't even notice it most likely. That's going to get a much higher draw than anything else that has your picture on there. I'm number one. I sell the most real estate in Santa Fe County, blah, 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 blah. They don't care about that. So do very, very little. Your branding, again, is going to come as a byproduct. All right. I actually have a friend who creates some marketing pieces. He's in California. He actually creates 2 different pieces. One for his wife that he shows to her, that's all pretty, glossy, that she can show all of her friends and say, look, there's what my husband does. And he makes a couple $1 million a year. Then he creates the stuff that works, that draws, that he actually sends out. So he gives her 50 copies so she can show her friends, and he throws the other 500 pieces away just to keep her happy. All right, number 9, again, results rule, period. It does not matter what your spouse thinks, your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, anyone. The only thing that matters is the people that put money in your bank account, and that'll be your customers. When you start having success with this, all your realtor buddies out there are gonna be pulling you back down in that bucket. They don't want you. You can't get outside the norm. They want you to be average like them. You will be a lightning rod when you start having success. It will happen. People will put fake reviews out there on you. I've got a review out there on me from ripoffreport.com that is so fake, it's laughable. I mean, obviously some other realtor put it out there and they were stupid. It sounded horrible the way they even wrote it. It didn't even sound real. But that's what will happen to you when you start having success. So again, the only people that matter are the ones that put money in your bank account, period. All right, number 10, last but not least, you will be a tough-minded disciplinarian. Keep your business on a strict direct marketing diet. This is direct marketing. Every piece that you send out, you can account for it because they went to this website or they called this phone number. you know exactly how to track the ROI, period. Again, so give yourself enough time to run your campaigns, to get some response. And if you are not getting the response in your time period, cancel it. Purge all the crap, cut it out, stop it now. Just say no, hang up on those marketers that are trying to sell you stuff if it doesn't match this criteria here. No, you can't see it here on my whiteboard, but I've got my 10 rules of marketing posted right up here on the whiteboard. And I try to look at that every time I send out something or do something. These emails that I send out for these classes, a lot of times I'm doing them pretty quickly because I've got a bunch of other stuff to do. But if I had more time, I would go through my checklist and make sure that I meet every one of those criteria. Now, you don't have to meet all 10 criteria on every single piece. Sometimes it's just not possible. But the more of these 9 rules, plus that 10th one, the more that you can follow, the more success you will have. Okay. All right. What questions do we have? Anyone? Perfectly clear.
Hey, Ray, I thought it's outstanding. You actually pulled in my interest, aside that, I'm going to be on your calls, but you pulled my interest in this morning with your email with short, sweet, boom, click, I'm done. Excellent material. I'm sorry there's not more brokers on here to see it, but for those who are, guess what? We got a little bit of a gem today, did we not? Important.
It's only the winners are on here, right? The ones that are going to win.
I really, Ray, the point that really resonated to me as somebody that was kind of a multi-pronged farmer, so to speak. I did geofarms and niche farming, was really reiterating the point that you can go for weeks, months, sometimes a year or more, and put a focused amount of dollars in it and not get anything back. And then all of a sudden you get one transaction from that efforts and it pays for itself 10 times over. And people really need to embrace the concept if they're going to engage in this as farming, because if you put in a year's worth and do it correctly and follow these 10 metrics that you've laid out, people will get traction and results after a certain amount of time if they're sending out a good message. And if they're not, they either need to retool the message or just be patient. Just like farming, you don't put a seed into the soil and then expect to have corn 3 days later. It takes some time and a number of conditions, and the conditions in this analogy would be having the right message, having it the right venue and the right duration of time. So I appreciated the patience and the disciplined aspect of taking time to cultivate a farm.
Awesome. Thanks, Deb. Mr. Kaufman, what questions you have, buddy?
I don't have questions. But I will tell you that when you create a standalone landing page in Command, you also have to go to GoDaddy, claim the domain, and then get the two of them linked. And it can happen. You'll get there.
It's a learning curve, right? But the first time you do it, the next time it's a piece of cake.
Yeah, remove all the sharp implements from your surroundings and you can do it.
Yeah, very
it's
good.
hard.
The one thing you can do is create that one landing page with, calling for more information, the text, the real strong copy behind it, and, utilize it for your existing clients that we all have that are in our database that are dead, that, we really haven't communicated to them for a long time. This would be an opportunity. And again, that's some of the pluses of Command that we all kind of push away. But I also think that there's some classes on that Ted sent out just on the overall use of Command. And if you haven't done it, make sure you get that email back from Ted. Ted, you might want to send that out again with all those classes, because we're not using the tools that we have that we should be using. And, we've got a team leader here who has proven success that it works. So, we can stick our head in the sand and say, oh, we don't want to learn it, but these are the tools that we have available. Nobody else offers them.
Yeah, the email from Ray last night that has Scott Leroy marketing section on it, and there shows the link for a class every day at 11 and different command topics. It's great. I join them occasionally.
Marty Miller, if you go to YouTube and you Google Marty Miller, he's down in the Houston area. He has some fantastic videos that I've watched every single one of them. He does like a 66-day challenge, and it's like, they're like 5 minutes each, and they will teach you one specific section or one applet, one piece of one of the applets within command. They're very good, very easy to follow.
I'm definitely not a big fan.
All right, so anyone else? Amy and Amy, how are y'all? Very good. So so here's an idea, guys, right? I went and bought that Santa Fe openhouse.net is only the best one I could find. I'm thinking about just creating a simple landing page. I'm going to redirect that website in GoDaddy to a landing page, and it just, that it just has a capture area that says, give me your name, email address, phone number, and I'll let you know every time a new open house is coming up. Facebook ads, pay-per-click ads. You're going to be the broker that is offering something that nobody else offers, right? Either let them be the first ones to know, right? That could be your call to action. Oh, something I wanted to mention. This is something to think about when you're writing your headlines. You think about the bartender conversation. This is what I call it, bartender conversation. So, guy can't sleep, right? He's trying to, he's something's keeping him up, and he goes to the bar and orders a drink, and he can't sleep, and he's sitting there, going, oh man, gosh. And the bartender says, "What's going on, man? What's the matter?" Well, my wife and kids and I, we're moving to Santa Fe, and we've been looking at houses, and man, they just there's multiple offers, and we can't even get in there. Every time I go see one, they're already under contract. So how do you solve his problem? That's the copy you want to write. Put yourself, you are that guy, and now what am I going to write that's going to appeal to him to get him to opt in? Make sense? Any question?
I have one more thought to add to that too, is obviously the purpose of farming a neighborhood is to get listings. And so if you find yourself, as many of our brokers do right now, short of listings because of the market conditions and the climate right now, consider embracing this and putting this into your bag of tricks for building your business. And I did some really kind of creative twists on these when I was doing geographical farming in a reverse APB type of thing, all points bulletin, where if I had a buyer looking for a house in a certain neighborhood, kind of piggyback on what Ray's saying here, that I would send a targeted postcard to that neighborhood with the core message being, I have buyers right now, I have this family, and I would give a general overview of what the family composition is that want to live in this neighborhood. Have you considered selling your house? And if not, what would make you consider selling your house now, because people want to live in this neighborhood? So kind of a reverse approach to farming, instead of saying, hey, do you want to sell? The standard approach to geographical farming is actually saying that I have a buyer. Because for me as a consumer, when I know that somebody's got interest in my property, for example, I may not need to know who exactly the person is, but just knowing that might heighten my interest in thinking, yeah, instead of having to go through the big process and go up on the open market, a specific family, that kind of, especially in this type of climate now with the virus and COVID and everybody worried about 10,000 people trouncing through their home. If it's one specific family that's in mind, that might get me off the fence to say, hey, maybe it is time to move and downsize, or go live near the kids out of state, or whatever is prompting people to leave, especially here in Santa Fe.
So I've been here for a month and a half now, and I've put it out there several times. If anybody wants to meet with me, sign up and let's talk about your business and marketing. There's 3 agents right now. One of them was on the call. that I am working very strongly with in developing a farm, a geographic farm. One of the agents I'm working with has had his first listing appointment from his farming, sent out his first set of postcards, and he got a listing appointment. He's gotten, I think, like 4 or 5 people that have already opted in. Pretty good. He's excited. He's branching off and doing a lot more already. So anybody wants to hear about my program, let me know, schedule some time, and I'll go through it with you. All right, guys, that's all I got. Anybody else? See ya. Have a good one.
See you at 3.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.